Gil Martin here, and welcome everybody to today's episode of the Daily Packers Post, where we bring you in-depth coverage of your Green Bay Packers. We have new videos dropping every day, Monday through Friday, so hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. The Green Bay Packers got a field goal from Brandon McManus as time expired in overtime and ended up in a 40-40 tie with the Dallas Cowboys. Jordan Love, 3 touchdowns, 337 yards, and Romeo Doubs caught all 3 of those touchdowns. But the defense and the special teams just weren't equal to the task, and the Packers are now 2-1-1 heading into the bye. The Cowboys dropped to 1-2-1. Here are 10 things that we learned from this 40-40 tie. Number 1, the defense just couldn't stop the Cowboys. In the first 3 games of the season, none of the Packers' opponents gained more than 250 yards or scored more than 20 points in a game. Against Dallas, the Cowboys exploded by comparison. They were able to move the ball for 436 yards, 40 points. Usually, Jeff Hafley outcoaches opposing offenses, but in this game, there was no answer. Now, Devontae Wyatt and Nate Hobbs, they left the game early. That didn't help, but the Packers could not make the adjustments needed to slow down the Cowboys' offense. The defense forced no turnovers and really didn't have any answers. Number 2, special teams failures hurt the team yet again. The Packers were up 13-0. They had just scored on the second touchdown pass from Love to Doubs early in the second quarter, and a miscue on special teams changed the entire complexion of the game. Brandon McManus's extra point was blocked and returned for 2 points by Marquise Bell of Dallas. That made the score 13-2 Packers, but the momentum of the game changed immediately after that. Dallas ended up scoring a total of 16 unanswered points. And by the way, that miss ended a streak of 93 consecutive extra points for McManus. Then later in the game, special teams again with some big mistakes, allowing a long kickoff return late in the game, in regulation anyway, that allowed Dallas to start with the ball at their own 46 with 1:45 left in the game, right after the Packers had taken the lead. Dallas took advantage of the short field. They took the lead, and then the Packers had to tie it on a field goal with just a few seconds left. Rich Bisaccia needs to figure out something, because already in half the games that the Packers have played this season, special teams have been a major problem. Number 3, we learned that Romeo Doubs and Jordan Love had strong games. With the exception of one fumble, Love had 118.1 passer rating, 3 touchdowns, no picks. We mentioned he topped 300 yards for the game, and he also came up big in some clutch situations that allowed the Packers to force overtime and then to at least tie the game in overtime. Doubs, he's the guy that Love looks to in the red zone. He caught 6 passes for 58 yards and 3 scores. And in addition to the 3 touchdowns, he had a clutch 18-yard pass late in the game that kept a vital drive going. Look, Love and Doubs have great chemistry. He looks for Doubs when he needs a key completion, or he looks for Tucker Kraft. But in this game, it was Doubs who really got the job done. Number 4, the pass rush did not create a lot of pressure. And that's a big problem. Packers managed only 1 sack. They recorded officially only 5 quarterback hits all game. Prescott had time to throw, and he was effective. This was the first game out of the 4 that the Packers have played that the pass rush was not a major factor, and we saw the impact it had on the defense. And the disappointing thing was that the Packers pass rush did not get home consistently, despite the fact that, like the Packers, Dallas was playing some backup offensive linemen due to injury, and the Packers could not take advantage. Micah Parsons, number 5, made one big play in this game. He had a relatively quiet homecoming to Dallas, was in on only 3 tackles all game, but did have 3 quarterback hits and the only sack of the game for the Packers. It was for a loss of 0 yards, but it was a critical play. Prescott was running and was at around the 5-yard line, and Parsons caught him from behind. Had he not made that tackle, it looked like Prescott was in for a touchdown. Overall, not the dominating game we expected from Micah Parsons, but he did come up with a big play at a key moment. Hopefully, the Packers can get more from him after the bye. Number 6, Josh Jacobs persevered. The running back got off to a slow start, but he ended up with a strong day despite the fact that, especially in the first half, the run blocking just wasn't there. He finished the game with 22 runs for 86 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he also added 71 more yards on 4 catches on only 4 targets. That's a 157-yard game with 2 touchdowns for Josh Jacobs. And, again, too often, especially in the first half, getting hit behind the line of scrimmage, didn't have substantial holes to run through, but he kept on breaking tackles and picking up more yards than in theory he should have. And in the second half, the holes did start to open up a little bit more. Emmanuel Wilson also had a good game, 44 yards on the ground in 8 carries, 3 catches for 37 yards on 3 targets. And one thing the Packers did do effectively in this game, they used screen passes and short passes to their running backs to slow down the Dallas pass rush and move the football forward and kept drives alive. Number 7, we learned that the offense excelled on 3rd down. The Packers were 10 of 14, an incredible 71.4% on 3rd down. Now, 5 of those first downs did come courtesy of penalties by the Cowboys, but the offense did manage to make plays when they needed to convert, and they also made their only 4th down try. Meanwhile, the Green Bay defense held the Cowboys to just 4 of 11 3rd down chances, or a 36.4% conversion rate, but Dallas did most of their damage on 1st and 2nd down, so the 3rd down plays weren't all that important. Number 8, we learned that the one turnover in this game was a costly one. It was a strip sack with 13 seconds left in the first half, and on that play, Rasheed Walker beaten badly by James Houston, who knocked the ball out and recovered the fumble with, again, 13 seconds left in the half. Dallas scores one play later on a Prescott touchdown pass, and the Packers' 13-9 lead became a 16-13 deficit at the half. Dallas had 16 unanswered points, and they got the ball to start the second half. Thankfully, the Packer defense did make that one stop, and that ended up being important because it allowed Green Bay to stay in the game. But that sack, fumble, and recovery really hurt the Packers, and you wouldn't have had a tie without it. Number 9, and this is a big concern, the Green Bay secondary was exposed. In the first 3 games, the secondary did really well, in large part because quarterbacks didn't have time to throw downfield. But in this game, Dak Prescott did. He picked on Nate Hobbs. Hobbs got hurt. He picked on Carrington Valentine, and they got some sizable gains. Meanwhile, Keyshawn Nixon, he had a few good moments, but he was also victimized on some big plays. And Green Bay allowed 319 yards passing. Prescott had a passer rating of 124.9. George Pickens, no answer for him. 8 catches, 134 yards, and 2 touchdowns, including some impressive acrobatic catches that really ended up hurting the Packers. The secondary, even if the pass rush isn't getting home, has to be better than it was in this game against Dak Prescott. And number 10, bring on the bye. This was the 2nd consecutive disappointing result for the Packers, but hey, at least it wasn't a loss. Now Green Bay has a week off. Hopefully, Zach Tom and Aaron Banks can get healthy. Maybe Devontae Wyatt can return without having to miss a full game. We'll wait for an update on his injury situation. The Packers are 2-1-1. But here's a team that easily could have been 4-0. They still need to clean up the penalties and work on some fundamentals, but the bye week will give them a much-needed break and some time to regroup. Check out our website at thepackerspost.com for in-depth articles on the Packers Monday through Saturday. And here on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode of the Daily Packers Post. I'm Gil Martin. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe. And of course, go Pack Go.